And is that my friend Steve? Oh, I'm so happy to hear from you. Steve Adubato, who visits us. Hi, my dear. Go to Washington and come in on the white horse and be a hero.
Yeah, Joan, first of all, always good to speak to you. I'm listening to your comments and right on point. And I wish there were a white horse. I wish that someone could ride in like this and fix it. But unfortunately, let me give you my view on this whole thing. The knight on the white horse is the American public. And I don't want to get on a soapbox, but I'm going to tell you the main reason why nothing is moving forward, and the main reason why there is stalemate, and the main reason why they're acting like children in a sandbox who are playing or fighting over who's going to have the shovel and who's going to have the pail is because they are absolutely convinced in Congress, Joan, that there are no consequences, that the American public is so apathetic, is so disillusioned, could not care less. And Congress's attitude is, look, they already think that we are creeps. They already think that we are crooks. They already think that we are the only ones who are getting paid in the federal government, which they mostly are, while no one else is working the hundreds of thousands of people who are, in fact, not getting paid. So what's the difference? If they already think that we're creeps and we don't work for a living and we're not solving problems, how much worse can it be? They need to realize in Congress that there are consequences. They're going to lose the next election. And until people reach out for their members of Congress and say, you are my target, I'm coming after you, no one is going to budge in this, Joan. No one.
I know, but don't you think, or maybe I'm naive, that if everyone who's listening to us picks up the phone, representative, and says, I'm done, I can't take this anymore. If you guys don't get this thing together, you're out of there, at least from me.
That is the message. And here, by the way, let's anticipate the response. You call your Republican member of Congress and you say, I want you to put pressure on John Boehner, the Speaker, to move forward and put this up for a vote. So even if they disagree with Obamacare, we can get the government functioning again, and we can open up the federal parks, and we can open up the programs where kids can get access to federal programs with cancer research. I mean, could you imagine? They're going to say it's not us, it's the president. You put pressure on Democratic members of Congress.
All of them. I'm not saying the Democrats are scot-free. They're as bad.
No. And here's what's going to happen. The Democrats, sleazy as they are in this, are going to point the finger at the Republicans and say, we won. It's the law of the land. We got Obamacare passed. They're just angry, and that's what this is about. Well, the problem is this. If all they do is point to the other person, people who call in need to say, no. We teach our children to be accountable for themselves, not to point to their brother and sister or the kid in the class and say, it wasn't me, it was him, it was her. We want you to be accountable for solving this. What are you going to do to move forward? Don't tell me what the president isn't doing. Don't tell me what the other party isn't doing. Tell me what you are going to do. And that is the question, because if you let them scapegoat and blame, this thing's going to go on forever, Joan, and it's not a joke.
No, I agree. Yesterday we took a look at the financial implications. And, of course, they're spending so many millions every day that the health plan doesn't even come close. Plus, it's self-funded. But, Steve, it's so disappointing. I believe so strongly in this country, in democracy, and even have hope that those we elect can rise above it. And yet, what's happening?
Listen, if we ever give up, Joan, I can be angry, you can be angry, we could be disgusted and embarrassed by members of Congress and the president, by the way. He can keep saying, I won this thing.
Right,
They're
big
just
deal.
Angry. Mr. President, here's my view. A true leader doesn't keep saying, I won, stop crying about it and get over with it. A true leader says, look, we are stuck. What can I do? What will I do to try to solve this problem? He doesn't keep saying, I won, and so if you keep doing it, I'm going to take my ball and go home because I'm the winner. That's what a child does, and the president doesn't seem to understand that. So here's my view. We need to be optimistic and positive, but let them understand that there are consequences, Democrats, Republicans alike. And if we as the people don't do that, Joan, I'm telling you, they're not going to move because they're convinced that their seats are safe. John Boehner's convinced that he holds on to his speakership.
He is ridiculous.
But here's what he's convinced of. Even if the government shuts down, and even if people suffer, and even if forget about the federal workers who are suffering, what about the American public who can't get access to these programs? Here's what he's convinced of. If he can keep 50 to 70 of the Tea Party members happy in his wing of the party, and he can keep his speakership, his position as speaker means more to him
than anyone else.
But it's not just John Boehner. I am not just putting it on him, because Democrats are just as bad. We need to be positive and optimistic, because otherwise we're giving up on our country because they represent us.
All right, Steve, you know what? We have to talk about this again, and we have, unfortunately, plenty of time. I love the fact that you were listening and called in. I'll talk to you soon. I'm Joan Hamburg.